because I don't think she's lost that support. She just has to work for it.
So we've been talking a moment ago, Congressman, about tonight's event where your candidate, Kamala Harris, is going to be sitting down with an interviewer from Fox News, not famous for being sympathetic to the Democratic cause or Kamala Harris. Do you accept this is a big gamble?
No, I do not. I don't accept that because she is always prepared. She's a person who is very focused, and she understands the significance of this election, and she has those necessary leadership skills. It is something that I'm very proud of her
Okay.
because she was right in my district at one time. So she knows and understands what it means to be vice president.
Okay, look, that's a thoroughly supportive answer, as I might have expected. But you surely have to accept there's a risk attached to all of this. There's no margin of error, Congressman, is there? When Donald Trump, the former president, is facing an interview and maybe faces a difficult question, and it's a tough question, he can serve up a table full of word salad. Kamala Harris cannot do that. Any faulty-looking answer, it could be the end. It could be toast.
Well, look, she's running for president. She understands the risk that is involved in it. So you have to take it, she's going to represent everybody in America. And she understands, as a former prosecutor, she understands the significance of the challenge. So the fact that she's taking the challenge on,
Yeah.
it's clear that she's determined to lead this country.
And clearly determined, and some might say a little bit anxious, even desperate to take on a gamble like this to go into the lion's den of Fox News.
Well, they made the offer to her, and she's just taking advantage of it. I mean, she has the skill set. She understands the necessary. She's been vice president, so vice president, district attorney. She knows and understands what it means to provide that leadership, and she will. I'm not intimidated whatsoever. I am a staunch supporter of her. I've known her. I've watched her in action. So I share with you, I'm extremely optimistic.
Okay, it is possible. It is possible to be a staunch supporter and still be anxious. However, are you worried about this election on November the 5th, Congressman? Because on any analysis, it looks fearfully close.
Well, that's no question. It is fearfully close. It is something you can't take for granted, and she's not taking anything for granted.
But are you worried, Congressman?
No, I mean, look, I've been in tight elections before myself. I understand that Pennsylvania is very key to it all. Philadelphia is a part of Pennsylvania. So this state, I understand this state. I've been through this state. I know what this state. So she's taking it directly to him.
Mm.
So you can't ask for nobody else but to be as direct as she has been.
Right. Look, I mean, your state, the state of Pennsylvania, is absolutely crucial to the Electoral College. It could be the state that decides the outcome. And I hear now again and again how confident you are with your candidate, Kamala Harris. Tell me why, knowing Pennsylvania as you do, why do so many Pennsylvanians, about half of Pennsylvanians, think the opposite? Because if Kamala Harris is ahead, according to the polls, it's within the margin of error. Why do so many people simply disagree with you?
Well, obviously it is a very competitive state. It is not a state you can take for granted. And she's not taking it for granted. She understands the challenge that confronts her. And I'm proud that she's willing to take those risks and be very bold about it. There's a huge difference between her skill set and her opponent's skill set. And she knows and she understands that. So she's not in any way intimidated by taking the risk.
All right. Well, let me ask you about a specific set of voters. I'm talking now about black voters and Hispanic American voters. And to be sure, most black voters, by quite a distance, support Kamala Harris. But there's a slice of black voters who do not, and she seems to have lost some of those black supporters since the time of Joe Biden, certainly Barack Obama. Why is that, Congressman?
Well, like anything, she recognizes that she has to work for it. She cannot not take it for granted.
No,
She
clearly
has
not.
to.
But why do you think she's lost at least that measure of support?
Well, I don't personally, I'm a little biased because I don't think she's lost that support. She just has to work for it, and she's willing to show that, and she's willing to demonstrate that, as demonstrated by going on Fox News. So she's
Hmm.
showing you that she's willing to go to every single constituent
Yeah.
that it takes to make that difference.
Well,
That's why 27,000 Pennsylvania voters overseas need to review their ballots now so that basically they can get out and vote. It's very important that the people who are overseas, all the citizens participate. We want to get that message across that they're willing to take advantage and vote.
and I know you're keen to reach those potential voters overseas and around the world because those voters could make a difference, especially in those battleground states where every vote can count.
Well, I agree. That's especially what I like to stress. That's why it's important for Pennsylvania voters overseas need to review their ballots now, and we don't want them to miss out, and we want them to participate. The whole idea of a democracy is the fact that the key element to it is about citizen participation,
Yes.
and that's why we encourage people to do ballots. That's why I talk to you through this program.
Yeah.
We think it's very important that they don't miss out on the opportunity.
Okay. Well, your message there is perfectly clear to those who are listening to it and are willing to be persuaded by that. I'm going to just return for a moment to the question of crucial votes in this election. I'm looking at Black Americans in particular. You will have a particular insight into this. I mean, you are an African American. You know the state of Pennsylvania. There clearly is a concern there on the part of the Democratic Party. I mean, Barack Obama, just the other day, referred to it. He's on the stump because of concern about this. And he sent a message to African American men in particular. Have they got a woman problem? Is that your perception? Is there a particular problem among those African American men voters about electing a woman to the White House?
So, from my perspective, even though he talks about the challenge, I do not think they ever will. It is something which she's willing to confront. And
Yeah.
she is willing to confront the challenge. She's willing to take the challenge on.
Yeah.
And if you listen to her program,
Yeah.
substantively, she has a better approach for the sake
Yeah.
of people. She's willing to take on issues that otherwise others would not be willing. So that's why I said she's earned the opportunity, and she has demonstrated that. Being vice president, being district attorney, being those important things. She understands those things necessary to lead.
Yeah, but in that way, I suppose you are acknowledging there is a challenge there. There is a potential threat which needs to be confronted.
Well, no question about it. I mean, I think that's why President Obama was in Pittsburgh
Yes.
for. I think that's important. Understand there's Pittsburgh, and there's Philadelphia, and all the other counties. And I think that President Obama, recognizes that he can assist that. And that's why he was here. And I think that's no accident that he was in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Understand the significance of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, all across the state. That's why we encourage the voters who are maybe not there but overseas
Yeah.
to get your ballot in. We want to make sure it's important and vote all on ticket. We also have a very important race, a Senate race with Senator Casey for United States Senate has been someone who has the skill.
Yes.
I know him. Well, one of the things I should say that I was in the legislature for 36 years. So I know a little bit about the legislature. I know a little bit about in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So I share with you with my comments that I understand the significance of this state in terms of the nation and the importance of what it will